And we're live. Welcome, friends. Happy Friday. On Fridays, we free roam with 9 viewers in the chat. Thank you for being here early. J Lash with the thumbs ups. Appreciate you, friend. I always know I'm going to have an excellent live stream when J Lash has his thumbs ups in the chat. Miko Herptile says hello, Super Antonio. And Sadie. Sadie is down here. She's resting peacefully. Hello, mods. Happy weekend, folks. And Rage 10 is also here. And Rage says hi to everyone. And David, thank you for being here early. I appreciate you, friend. I'm glad a mod is here early to help me with these unruly bastards. Rage 10 says hello to everyone. And David has a rage emoticon and an alligator emoticon for Miko. And Chrissy V74 is also here. David's better half. Welcome, Chrissy. Hope you had a great week. Chrissy has a heart for David, and David has a heart for Chrissy. Ain't that cute and adorable? Chrissy says, hello, Super Antonio. Greetings. Cancer I see. I'm not sure. Says, hello, everyone. Greetings. Appreciate you being here. Happy Friday. David says, there she is here. Hop, hop, sit up. Shut up. Say hi to the chat. We're joined once more by our channel co-host, Sadie the channel dog. She's feeling a little frisky. Odog is here. Greetings, Odog. Welcome. Happy Friday. Hope you're feeling better. David, what's for dinner? What did I have? I had teriyaki chicken with veggies. David asks Odog, how you feeling, my brother? And Chrissy says hello to Odog. And Rage says, I'm doing work in Beecher's Hope as John because Abigail needs a working husband. She certainly does, Rage. Odog says, enjoy, don't need to COVID up chat. I'll just watch. Okay, Odog. Well, I'm glad you're here, friend. Appreciate you as always. You take it easy. Drink lots of water. We're just kind of showing you a random assortment of Chapter 2 on your Friday night. This stream will be a little bit longer than usual. No reason, I just felt like it. I haven't been putting up much content this week, so I thought I would make it up on the live stream. And I have coffee tonight. What's that about? Because we're going to be up late. Chrissy says pan-fried chicken, chicken and cheese rice. That sounds delicious. Hey, no, where are you going? Come back. Come back. Stay up here. Oh, she's going under the desk. With a Southwest salad with jalapenos, crunchiest. Crunchies. Jalapeno crunchies. Okay, well, I'll have to pick those out. But I would eat everything else and I would enjoy it thoroughly. First playthrough, I didn't realize what a big deal Sadie would become, and I kind of forgot about her until all through Chapter 1 or Chapter 2. Didn't pay attention. She's just moping around. So that first mission when she's arguing with Mr. Pearson, I was like, "Who's this lady?" Oh yeah. Rach says, Super Antonio, have you ever said to Sadie, you all right, girl, like in Red Dead 2? Because sometimes I do that to my dog. Yeah, all the time. Hup, hup. Come on, you're all right, girl. Chrissy says, David loved them. Of course he did. Because it was made with love. And a lot of times I'll go, easy, girl. Won't be long. David said, just heard this convo too. Cloudy is here. Cloudy says, howdy, y'all. And Cancer I See says, I usually miss the live streams because of the time differences. On that note, greetings from India, but I'm glad to be part of one of these streams. Oh, shout out to India. Glad you're here, friend. You have a fascinating and beautiful country that's so old, so much history. Your architecture and your art, birthplace of yoga. In Siddhartha, wasn't Siddhartha from India? So the birthplace of Buddhism as well. Chrissy says, David says, you're all right, boy, to our boys. And David says, cloudy, with a cloud emoticon. And so does Chrissy. Yeah, I say you're all right, girl. You're all right, girl. Mostly, I'm like, come on. Come on, that's enough. That's enough smelling. You don't need to smell that piece of dried, mysterious poop. She found a dead rat. What's that about? I had to pull her off it. Fortunately, I saw the rat about the same time that she noticed it, so she didn't get close. But she has a harness. But I had to like lift her up on her back legs to get her away from that thing. Cancer IC says, thank you, Superantonio. Visit sometime. Well, I was dating a young lady who was a yoga instructor, and that was always one of her ambitions was to study in India, in your country. Get some kind of certification there. And she wanted me to go as well. And it just didn't work out. We couldn't get our schedules together. But it's a very very spiritual country, India. And it's huge. So much history. Such beautiful architecture. I was thinking, do I have any Indian inspired? I have a bunch of paisley napkins. I think that's the only part of it. The only Indian inspired artwork that I have right now that I can think of. Might have some postcards up. Cloudy says, cows are all over the streets in India. Yes, they are. They are sacred. Assassin's Creed should make an India game. Assassin's Creed India. I love that horse. So Wednesday's live stream didn't do great as far as replays and views, but I had a lot of fun doing it. So that should count for something. But yeah, nobody was as interested in time travel. I should have had perhaps a better title. But we'll figure out another one next week. I didn't even know what we're going to do for this week's Sinister Sunday. I was thinking about Jack the Ripper. And Cloudy, no, I did not watch Godless. I don't think it's available on Amazon. I'm looking at Jack the Ripper right now. Yeah, I think we'll do Jack the Ripper. Alistair Crowley, David asks. I can put him on the list. Well, let's see. English occultist. Maybe we'll do him first. Man, his Wikipedia goes on forever. This is like a 3-hour stream. I'm still scrolling. Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, we could do Aleister Crowley. He died in 1947. He was also a mountaineer. He also went to India.
Okay, girl. There, girl.
Rage, it is a recorded video. I don't think I could... There's no way for me to stream my actual gameplay as I'm playing it on this computer, because I'm running Macintosh. It's much easier with PCs. And hooking up the PS4 to this thing, it's a pain. I tried it before. The latency is it's just not worth it. Cancer IC says, started a new game a few days back, and just yesterday, for an hour, I tried to get the Silver Dapple Pinto Missouri Foxtrotter from the side mission. Not successful yet, but I'm hopeful. Yeah, just make a save and keep reloading. You have to slow them down in front of the stagecoach. You have to position it perfectly so that they run into the door. If they run into the door, then they'll kind of just jumble about, and when you skip the cutscene, they'll be behind they'll be heading for that grove of trees, but they'll still be in the water, and that's what you want. If you can see them immediately or close to immediately, then you have a really good chance of finding them. Cloudy says, there's a real-life story about a vampire in the old Wild West days. But I forgot his name. Cloudy says, you don't have an HDMI splitter. I do, Cloudy. But that, you also need a, what is that thing called? Capture card. And then capture cards are a pain, because then you need to, the video and the audio will come in on a different track. And then I have to sync it up with this audio and that camera. Trust me, it is a pain. I'm not going to do it. At any rate, we're going to go up north right now. I used to love this coat. The Ram shotgun coat. Now I can't be bothered. But for a while it was my favorite winter coat. 9 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends.
Forget to buy something?
On Fridays, we free roam. Is anyone going to see Maxine? Starring my new favorite starlet, Mia Goth. Cloudy says, yes, I know it's a pain. My HDMI splitter broke. That's $50 down the drain. Yeah, it is a pain. You could find better ones than $50. Well, I guess it depends on your length. But I know I didn't spend $50 on mine. David says, don't forget to hit that like button, fellers. Let's look up it. Yeah, I got one for dual monitors. I know I spent like less than 15. Meanwhile, in Valentine, I always grab some of these berries for the horse. And also potent predator bait. I mean, it's on the way. Cloudy says, I might go and watch Maxine. Yes, you should. I love Mia Goth. I don't know why. She has a certain charisma. She reminds me of Aubrey Plaza, except she's not funny. She's scary. But it's interesting because she's not conventionally pretty, but she's attractive. Like, I would compare her, at least in popularity, to Anya Taylor-Joy. And Anya Taylor-Joy is, she's elven. She's like a young Kate Blanchett. She's, by every possible metric, beautiful. And Mia Goth is nothing like that. It's but she still has a certain like charm and attractiveness. And I think pound for pound, she's a better actor than Anya Taylor-Joy. Cloudy says, I really want a new Max Payne movie. Well, you probably won't get one, unfortunately, Cloudy, because the Max Payne movie didn't do that well. Unless they're going to remake it all over again. They might, just because Hollywood isn't coming up with anything original and has no new ideas, even though I just talked about Maxine. Let's head up north. Cancer, I see Arthur is going to visit Flaco. Flaco Hernandez. I love how he says that. Flaco Hernandez. Cloudy says, next film on my list is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That's what I'll be watching tonight. That is a great movie. One of my favorites. Alonzo Russ says, hey, Super Antonio, what's going on with fire emoticons? That's good because it's night. Greetings, Alonzo. Welcome. Happy Friday. On Fridays, we free roam.
Okay, girl.
Yeah, I love. Well, I love Quentin Tarantino is one of my favorite directors, and it's his love letter to Hollywood. It's going to. It's not my favorite of his movies, but it's going to be known as his greatest work. No matter what he does next, this he's not going to surpass this movie, at least in terms of top 10 lists and critics. My favorite of his movies is The Hateful Eight, but I'm sure, pound for pound, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood surpasses it. I think The Hateful Eight is a tighter story, and I like stories in movies that take place in one event, in one scene or one event or like over one night. Alonzo says, "Did I hear you were going to see Flaco?" Yes, we're heading up there right now. He has my favorite weapon in the game. Yeah, I do like Flaco's revolver. I like the ivory grip. David says hi to Russ. Alonzo Russ. Karen Lake. Cancer IC says Reservoir Dogs is my favorite. Well, it's his first. And it's his tightest. It's the most heavily edited, and it's got great, but it's not my favorite. It'd probably be, for me, it would probably be Once Upon a Time, or let's see, it would be Hateful Eight, and then both Kill Bills, and then Pulp Fiction, of course. Cloudy says, I still need to watch The Hateful Eight. I heard so many good things about it. Yeah, if you love Westerns, you'll love The Hateful Eight. It has the best dialogue. I love The Hateful Eight. Just looking through the Wikipedia. We could do a Wednesday Hateful Eight. Maybe we will. Yeah, we might, because that would be fun. And I want to try to bring back the movie nights, except in a more accessible way for all of us. And we can't stream the movies on this with this software that I have. YouTube blocks it. But there's nothing to stop me talking about the movie. Mama One is here. Everyone say hi to Mama One. Mama One says, hey everyone. And Papa One says, hey guys. Greetings, Papa One. Welcome, Mama One. Happy Friday. On Fridays, we free roam. Mama One, what's for dinner? Hop up. Zadie's here. She came back up to see you. And she needs to chew in my ear. She really needs a bath. She's not embarrassed at all about how horsey she smells. She smells of the great outdoors. Mama One says, hey, David. Hey, Super Antonio. Hey, Sadie. Cloudy says, howdy, Mama One and Papa One. And David says, there he is. That's for you, Papa One, with an Arthur emoticon. Mama One says, hey, Cloudy. So yeah, Saturdays are bath time, and it can't come a minute too soon. Metro Edit says, "Hey y'all, been a minute. Greetings, Metro. Welcome. Appreciate you being here, friend." David says hi to Metro. Cloudy says, "Super Antonio, there's a website that you can watch movies together with the link." Yeah, but YouTube doesn't want you to go off-site. And also we run into copyright and licensing issues because we have an international audience. Like Cancer IC can't, I'm sure, wouldn't be able to watch it in India. And it's a really easy way to get the stream demonetized. Or if not, outright banned. So it's easier for me just to have a discussion about it. Metro says, "How y'all been?" No complaints, Metro. Been super busy, but apart from that, it's good to be busy. Yeah, this ain't Twitch. YouTube is seriously like, they have lots of rules and regulations behind the scenes that, that live streamers have to pay attention to. They might have cracked down on Twitch too, but for a while there was like, e-girls were just watching TV. They were watching anime, and they weren't even reacting. They were just thanking you if you like super chatted or gave them tips. Mama once says, "We had a wonderful meal of fresh lobsters, wow, from the fish market. A wonderful ribeye steak, surf and turf, a baked potato, and a mix of steamed veggies. For dessert, homemade chocolate chunk cookies." Wow, that sounds delicious. You win again. I had teriyaki chicken, favorite, with broccoli and other veggies. Where'd Sadie go? I think she's in her crate. She's not under the desk. I'll bring her back later. And channel member Dan Constantin Popescu says, "Hello everyone. Greetings, Dan. You're up late. Happy Friday. Saturday for you. On Fridays, we free roam." Cloudy says, "That's a lot of good food, Mama One." Yeah, Mama One, you can always count on Mama One to put on a good spread. And not for special occasions, just all the time. Cancer IC says, "PS gameplay is OG, but some of them PC mods for Red Dead Redemption 2 are real good, especially the attire mods for Arthur. I saw a John Wick mod and Red Harlow mod and Loki." We're trying to move Flaco out of the way. Can't pick him up. Cloudy says, "I just had a sandwich like a broke college student." Oh, I love sandwiches. Sandwiches are a great invention by the Earl of Sandwich. Dan's countryman, the Earl of Sandwich. Dan says, "No work tomorrow, so I can stay up for a while." And Dan says hi to David. And Chrissy says, "Hi, Mama One and Papa One and Metro and Dan." Mama One says, "For my son's birthday that's coming up, we are having a crawdad feast. We are getting fresh crawdads, so I'm making gumbo and frog legs for his friends. It's something we do every year." Wow. See? Mama One, you should, well, I would say make a video of that. of that meal, but I think you should make a video of all your meals. And Mama One says, "Hey, Chrissy." And Papa One says, "Hi, hey, Chrissy, hope all is well." Yes, Chrissy, I hope you're doing well. I'm sure you are. Dan had a big steak with new potatoes and veg. I wish I'd had a big steak with new potatoes and veg. And Jesus Ariola says, "Salute." My mom says hi. Lucia or Lucia. I remember Jesus. Greetings. Welcome. Chrissy says to, "Yes, and you too, Papa One." And we get a treasure map. We should go after that treasure. We haven't done treasure maps in a while. David says, David and Chrissy both say hello to Jesus. Hope your mom's doing well, Jesus. Papa One says, Mama One spoils our son, but he loves crawdads. We plan on having close to 50 people. Wow, big spread. Between his friends and friends of the family, we always throw parties, even though we are not as active. That's a clan. That'll be fun. It'll be good, I imagine, to have that many people in the house. Or, you know, on the farm or on the ranch. Papa One says, the horse industry, we're not as active in the horse industry. We still have many friends from years of experience who come to visit often. That's good. You gotta stay connected. And as long as we're up here, we might as well visit Sadie's old cabin. Dan says, tomorrow I start to play Red Dead Redemption 2 again. I didn't play the game for a while. Well, Arthur is always waiting for you, Arthur and Biscuit. Are you going to start a new gameplay? A new game, or are you just going to, like, pick up on an old save? And these people, they were so close to Coulter, but I imagine they got caught in the storm as well. Dan says, new game. Back to chapter 1. Jesus is off to get a coffee. I just had my coffee.
Come on, girl.
12 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Appreciate you being here. How's your Friday going so far? Do you have what do you have planned for the weekend? Tomorrow, instead of doing a horse show, I think we're going to have a discussion on the Hateful Eight. Dan says, I will try to get every dialogue possible with everyone from the camp. That is a fine ambition, Dan. Mama One says, I wonder why the Adlers would live up there. I know Sadie mentions working. I wonder what they farmed besides ice cubes, LOL. Yeah, they didn't have any livestock. But I imagine this place is really pretty, you know, during spring and summer. but they're pretty far up in the mountains. But no, it can't be. I mean, it's always covered in snow now. Like there were animals in that shelter, and there's a pen, a corral for something, and then it's kind of set up like John's ranch. What's that about? The outhouse survived. Mama one says, "Have you considered live streaming a movie from your TV and just live stream yourself and your TV?" Again, well, we would run into licensing issues because I can't broadcast a movie. We did a variation of that before, where I would just like react to a free movie on YouTube, and then give you the link so you could watch along with me. But I would just like, I was just running like Arthur footage in the background, kind of like now, except talking about the movie. But this way, what I'm going to do is it's going to be like Sinister Sundays, except I will do a slideshow from the Hateful Eight, and we'll talk about it. Cloudy says maybe they only sold horses, and Cancer IC says maybe the husband worked in a nearby ranch. There's no nearby ranches, though. And Miko says maybe Sadie was so antisocial that they just chose a really remote place. I don't think she was antisocial. I think the experience with the O'Driscolls and, seeing her husband be canceled, just sent her into a really dark place. Papa One says, back in the day, people would slaughter what livestock they had if they lived in a cold area. They would kill the livestock for food and buy a new set of animals so they didn't have to worry about cold weather. And Jesus has had to change the plumbing system for my toilet at the house. Very stressful. Well, Jesus, I'm glad you're handy and could handle that. And we are on the edge of the map. The edge of the known world. Horse jump for you, David. Used to love those things.
Let's go.
And back to Coulter. We're trying to follow this river all the way down. It's not really working. Yeah, we'll do Hateful Eight on Saturday and Aleister Crowley on Sunday. Didn't the Beatles like Aleister Crowley? Isn't that how he got popular with the hippies? Aleister Crowley, Beatles. And he would... He's on Sgt. Pepper. He's on the cover of Sgt. Pepper, and... There's also a Paul is Dead clue on the album cover. Mama one says, I wish we could have started at the Blackwater Massacre, maybe see what happened, but at least see some of the gunfight. I'm sure Arthur and Hosea came running to help. Dan says, what is your favorite chapters from Red Dead Redemption 2? Chapter 2. Hands down. And, kind of some of chapter 3, up to a short walk and a, to like before Arthur gets kidnapped. Mama once says, "Do you play this game every day, Super Antonio?" Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I just get on to like, just ride around, check in with Arthur. Yeah, it's comfort to me. It's it's just it's a comfortable. I mean, I like the feeling of the controller in my hand. It's relaxing. But usually, these days, if I go online because I need specific footage of something, of some location or a horse or whatever. Cancer IC says, in the beginning when Arthur asked Dutch what happened in Blackwater, Dutch says they missed him. So maybe Arthur was not there. Well, no, he was not involved. He was off with Hosea doing a different situation. That was Micah's plan. And Cloudy also says, I'm pretty sure Arthur wasn't at Blackwater when that happened. Well, he heard about it. Somehow they all met up. He lost Boadicea. Maybe he was there at the aftermath because they always regroup at camp before they run away. So maybe him and Hosea met up at camp. What happened? Where's Sean? And everyone was packing up, and Dutch was like, "We gotta go up north." And Dan says, Micah said he will never rob a boat again. Yeah, it would be a good. I thought about that. It'd be a good subject for Red Dead 3. Mama one says, "Did you ever play the first Red Dead Redemption?" Yes, we have a playthrough on this channel. We played it on Marston Mondays. Did you like it as much? Not so much. I love the. Mama one says, "I love the original, but the horses just don't have the same details as Red Dead Redemption 2. Red Dead Redemption 2 horses are so real." Yeah, the horse controls are janky in Red Dead 1, but I did love John's character in Red Dead 1. Very mature and articulate and thought out. He really becomes his own man in Red Dead 1. Cloudy says, "I wish we knew more about Jenny." Yeah, I thought it would be an interesting subject for Red Dead 3 if we did the year before Blackwater and we played as Davy, because you don't really see Davy as a character. Just his eyes are covered. And the first lines of Red Dead Redemption 2 is Davy is the reference saying that Davy is he's dying. So I just think that we played all the way up to Blackwater and the ride out of there, and then we free roam as Arthur post game. But yeah, Davy's a character. He does missions with Arthur and I like the symmetry. I like the idea of maybe John's gone because he was gone for a year and he just comes back like mid game, like maybe in chapter 3 or 4. That'd be cool. Cancer says, "I wouldn't believe anything that rat says, Dan, and neither should you, mate." Yeah, see, Jenny. We could, she could have, I'm sure she knew Mary Beth and Tilly and all those girls. You could see the romance with Molly and Dutch. Dan asks, what horse to use when I start my game? Any suggestions? Well, I'd grab the Brindle from the O'Driscoll ambush. Mama once says, I used to play like crazy, but Red Dead Redemption 2 is a masterpiece. Papa 1 loves Westerns, and my son had got Red Dead 1, and Papa 1 loved it. So I ended up playing. In my opinion, I prefer Red Dead to Grand Theft Auto. My opinion as well. But I don't like modern games. Or games set in the modern world. I like games set in the past or in the future. But I live in the present. Also, just don't like the aesthetics of Grand Theft Auto. You know, I don't like the fashion. I don't like the clothes. I don't like the music. I don't like the architecture. I mean, that's what I see if I look out my window. Cloudy says, but we do know that Jenny and Lenny can never be a thing. Yeah, we could meet Phil. Bill and Phil. Wonder who Phil was. Peter Mars, greetings Peter, says Ghost of Tsushima has a similar vibe to Red Dead Redemption 2. I do love Ghost of Tsushima. It's a beautiful game. You know, aesthetically, I love the armor. I love samurais. Excellent combat. Horses are okay. I think this game edges it out. Certainly in terms of plot. But yeah, I do love Ghost of Tsushima. Dan says, who will watch the new movie Horizon with Kevin Costner? We were talking about Maxine, starring your countrywoman, Mia Goth. And I don't know much about that movie. I know it's a Western. Papa One says, I've met several Korean War veterans in the snow in Amberino. If you know anything about Choisan Reservoir, the USMC fought against the Chinese. Yeah, that's history. Wasn't it Eisenhower said Korea isn't much of a war, but it's all we've got? Cloudy says, Super Antonio, are you a fan of The Last of Us? Not really. Not really, Cloudy. I don't, you know. I liked what I saw of the first one, but The Last of Us Part 2 just kind of upended that narrative. I think, no, I don't know. I was going to say I think Serena played it, but she did not, I believe. The only zombie games I like are Resident Evil. I love the Resident Evil franchise. And where's that bear? Cancer IC says Cyberpunk is a game set in the future, Super Antonio, and Night City is beautiful too. Yeah, it is, but I don't like first person. I hate first person. I was all in for Cyberpunk 2077 until they changed it at the last minute and made it first person. Because originally it was supposed to be third person. And Dan says, I find an easy way for Horseman 9. No need to go to Blackwater. Just ride to last patch of land near Blackwater. Interesting. I never tried that. I always just charge right in. And Peter Mars says, what's that smokestack? It's an O'Driscoll camp. Peter, yes, I did say hi to you, Peter. Greetings, Peter. And Papa Wen says Choisan Reservoir was fought near the mountainous regions near the border of China. Many men suffered from frostbite. The 1st Marine Division got trapped by the Chinese army, and it ended up as a Pyrrhic victory for China. A Pyrrhic victory, in case you don't know, is when the losses are so overwhelming that it doesn't seem like a win. Let's look it up. It's based on a Greek battle. A Pyrrhic victory is a victory that comes at great cost, perhaps making the ordeal to win not worth it. It relates to Pyrrhus, a king of Epirus, who defeated the Romans. I thought it was Greeks, who defeated the Romans in 279 BC, but lost many of his troops. It is likely that most of us prefer to win at something rather than to lose. It was the Battle of Asculum. Where's Epirus? What is that now? Oh, it's in ancient Greece, the northwest corner of ancient Greece. Mama one says, I will say jumping off bridges in first person is fun as Arthur. That would make a fun short. Might do that. Just Dan says, no bounty hunters, no one will chase you. That's interesting, Dan. Peter says, I don't get what this gameplay. Oh, you don't. Oh, Peter says, okay, I don't get what is this gameplay? You don't seem to be playing, and it's skipping ahead sometimes. What's up with that? I'm using the new PS5 hands-free controller. I'm beta testing it. I'm not. This is a video we're watching. I'm sorry, Peter. It's a video. It's old Free Roam Fridays footage that we're just kind of watching, and I'm commenting on it. I'd love to do the same thing with movies, but we can't. And Dan says, yes, David, where you find the blue Nakota. Yeah, but you can't cross water. Mama one says, I always find it unnecessary how Colm tells Arthur, ride with me and make some real money, but yet each heist the O'Driscolls do is split by like 10,000 ways, LOL. I don't think Colm is splitting that his money with his gang. Certainly not as equitably as Dutch does. David says, all my horses from 10 are in Big Valley. And Mom one says, I know Colm is not too bright, but how do the O'Driscolls make money is a mystery. Yeah, how are they buying all those matching outfits? Because that's the other thing. You have to be Irish, and and it's interesting that Colm doesn't have an accent. Colm should have an accent Everyone else does. You have to be Irish, and you have to wear the outfit. Need the duster and the hat, at the very least. Welcome to the gang. You can pick up your duster over here. Dan says, don't have to cross the water. And Peter says, I see. Do you play online sometimes? No, not really, Peter. I love the online gameplay of this game. We do have a mod named Serena from Australia, and she is our online correspondent. She's not here tonight, regrettably.
Yes, that'll be much appreciated. Guess we'll see if anyone notices.
12 viewers in the chat. Welcome, friends. Appreciate you being here. We made it to Friday. Let's move on.
I need assistance! Please stop, oh, I beg you! Oh, I'm in bad sorts here. I took a little jolt and have managed
And
to
here's
get
the New
myself
Yorker.
hopelessly lost. I am staying in Strawberry. If you could just guide me back.
First playthrough, I was convinced that we would get something from this encounter, that he'd give us a tip, or you know, some kind of unique item. And really, but really, it goes nowhere.
Well, yes, I suppose. It's just a little demeaning.
David says, Clinch's outfit from A Million Ways to Die in the West.
What are you doing out here anyway? Clearly ain't
I saw that when it came out.
habitat.
I don't really remember it.
From New York City, actually.
What's her name's in it?
You don't say.
Furiosa, the original Furiosa.
There was some talk of the
Mama one says, online is somewhat fun. I do the bounty hunter missions and legendary bounties. Yeah, Serena's doing the bounty hunter missions as we speak.
turns out
Dan says, the New Yorker is not in his natural habitat.
it's a town of splinters.
David says, he tells you to watch the mayor. Yeah, but that goes nowhere as well.
Taken in the whole
He should tell you to watch the general store.
I suppose some might call it charming. Let me tell you, charm is not worth much these days. You show me a timber frame.
But the mayor does have a letter.
And meanwhile, you have this mayor.
And the letter hints at
A little bespoke woodwork, and he thinks this is a cultural hub. The man,
certain scandals
well, I should give him some
that
credit.
drove the mayor out
Quite a
west.
salesman. He did get me out here after all.
And
Me. Now I'm
certain scandals like,
cowboy.
wow, Arthur meant to do that. Frequenting the same bars that Bill and Algernon enjoy frequenting.
Oh yes, this does look familiar.
Mama says, online I have a piebald Hungarian half-bred and a black thoroughbred. The Hungarian is named Dutch, while the thoroughbred is the king. And Cancer IC says, what is your opinion on Gavin as to who he might be? Yeah, Gavin's friend. That is the last great mystery of Red Dead Redemption 2. Gavin and the third meteorite crater. I just think he was set. Do you know what a red herring is, Gavin? That's an.
Are we close to town?
It's a clue or a piece of information that is intended to be misleading or distracting. For example, if you've seen Pulp Fiction, when John Travolta opens the case and it just glows gold, and you know it's like, and you never ever know what's in that case. That's a red herring. Alfred Hitchcock used it a lot as a plot device in almost all of his movies. And I just think Gavin is a red herring, that he was put there deliberately to confuse game players and just to get you talking about the game and making videos. I don't think I've ever made one video on Gavin.
Maybe stay in town for now, huh?
A rock and a hard place. Thanks anyway.
Dan uses the Peaky Blinders outfit on John. That means he got a flat cap.
Welcome to Strawberry. Welcome.
Yeah, Strawberry is not like super fleshed out. You also have the Reverend or the preacher.
Visitors, amuse yourselves.
Papa One says, "What are your plans for after the stream, Super Antonio? Movie night?" No plans. I'm pretty much, this will like end my day. I'll just kind of hang out with the dog, and we'll watch TV, and I'll just fool around on Twitter. You can follow me on Xwitter at Red Super Antonio.
Welcome to Strawberry, my friends. And to those that live here, stay.
Dance is getting a new PS5 console on the 23rd of this month. Can't wait. That'll be fun, Dan. That's something to look forward to.
American ingenuity, European sophistication.
Now that they're readily available, I don't really want one anymore.
Good man.
Dance's Strawberry is a town of splinters.
Elizabeth.
I do like the hotel. I like the architecture of it, even though it is technically a giant log cabin.
Be well, my proud people.
Papa One says, "We got an early day tomorrow. I told someone I would make them a saddle and horseshoes." Wow.
Forbearance shall make for us.
Peter says, "Funny, I don't remember this mayor at all through my playthroughs." He has a letter, Peter. I don't think we're going to collect it. But you can knock him out and get it.
Ask is you give us a chance to make you happy, a chance to make you feel like this is your home. Since I've been elected mayor, I have reduced the criminal.
But it's a story that goes nowhere, and all I can tell you about it is that if him and Bill ever met, they would have a lot to talk about.
Into a veritable Versailles of the West, Venice in the mountains, Manhattan without the.
Papa says, "Mama One and I make some beautiful custom saddles along with stirrups and horseshoes." Wow. That's sounds like you got a video there, Papa One.
Whether you're stopping for an hour,
You can put that on your channel as well.
we embrace you.
Welcome. New in Strawberry?
I'm really eager to see the future of AI in video games because it'll make encounters with NPCs almost infinite. Your gameplay will just fractal off in completely unique directions. Papa One says, "I told Mama One I should make a custom saddle for you. Put the name Super Antonio and Red Dead 2 stuff on it. Just for looks, unless you buy a horse." Wow. I would be honored. But don't go to that effort, Papa One. Peter says, "Bro, you stalking this mayor, or what are you going to do?" Well, yeah, we were just kind of following him around. Dan says, "My Cane Corso Blue is pregnant. I will have pups soon." Oh, that's great. That's great news. Get new life in the house. New puppies. Sadie met a pit bull who was super pregnant on one of our walks, and she was very respectful of her. You know, it's like usually when she meets dogs that are her size, she will immediately like jump on him and want to play and roughhouse, and she did nothing like that. You know, there was a lot of sniffing going on, but that was about it. And this poor dog, she was just so tired and so hot and so done with being pregnant. It was really funny. She was ready to go. Her tummy was almost dragging on the sidewalk. She was so big. She looked like she had like, you know, a full litter in her. Well, I'm sure she did. Where's Sadie? Let's bring her back. She knows I'm talking about her. Oh, she's by the balcony. Hop up. There you go. There you go. Come say hi to everyone. Or just chew in my ear. Dan says she is very moody now and all she does is eating and sleeping. Yeah, I can imagine. Papa One says, custom saddles are a must for any serious horse rider. My dad's saddle was made by me and him over 46 years ago. If cared for, a good saddle will be good forever. We all four had custom saddles. Dan says hi to say hi to Dan. Shout out to channel member Dan Constantin Popescu. You know, I came to the conclusion that she thinks everyone in the world knows her name, anyone she meets. Because, you know, when she meets someone, they'll always ask her name, and I'll say it's Sadie, and then they'll say hi Sadie, and she'll just like beam. What's that like, going through life where you think everyone's your friend and everyone knows your name? It's so innocent and charming to me. And you know, it just makes me want to protect her and never, so that she never encounters anyone scary or mean. Oh, interestingly, speaking of scary and mean, you know, it's like she will alert me if we get an Amazon package. If they leave it in front of the door, that's fine. You know, she'll let me know there's someone in front of the door. But if they put it between the screen door and the door, we're going to get like a seriously scary guard dog bark out of her. That's not allowed. However, if you open the screen door and you knock, like we're getting a visitor, then suddenly that's like exciting to her because a friend's coming. They might have a treat for her, because my sister always brings treats when she arrives, when she visits. So that's like run up to the door, tail wagging. Who's at the door? Who's at the door? Papa One says, I wished they showed in the game a lot of saddles where Arthur could keep his long guns, would roll out so you could pick which long gun you wanted to use. Look at the movie A Few Dollars More and you will see. Yeah, they kind of like, I mean, they went as far as they could with the saddles, and you do get like the long gun on the side, but it's not really, you know, the verisimilitude of the game kind of fades away when it comes to the weapon wheel, the old weapon wheel. But we got about 20 more minutes to the stream. I told you we'd be going a little longer tonight. What's that about? Just because I was gone all week. And I missed you guys. Dan says, mine, she is protective. Anyone who's knocking on the door, she starts growling and ready to bounce. I have to tell her off. Yeah, Sadie goes through life thinking that every stranger is a new friend she hasn't met. And there's your Mustang. Well, there's your thoroughbred. There should be a Mustang up here somewhere. David says, sounds like Kodak. Blue, I bet. Papa once says about this game, a lot of the horses' equipment and the way horses are, they got perfect. The detail is honestly amazing. If you don't mind me asking, Super Antonio, how does Sadie manage in a city? I know you mentioned it. Quite well. I mean, she hasn't really known any different. We have a park very close to where we live that I take her every day. And so she gets and Papa one says, I know you live in an apartment. Where should you go to the bathroom? Do you live in a city like NYC or Chicago? Yes. I set up the balcony for her. We have a balcony, and she goes out there, and then I just hose it off once a week. And that's fine. It's very convenient for me, so I don't have to get up in the middle of the night and take her downstairs, put on shoes and stuff. So she's trained on that. She hasn't really known any different. But we have a park, and it's a pretty big park. It's about a city block. And half of it is like a soccer field, and then the other half is like trees and nature. So I take her to the soccer field and we run around that thing, and then I take her, and then after we get her run in for the day, then I take her to the tree side, and I just let her explore. So she loves that park. Dan says, everyone have a blessed weekend. I'm going to bed. Till next time. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate you staying up so late. Enjoy your PS5 and have a great weekend. And Chrissy says, bye, Dan. And David says, see ya, Dan. Papa once says, we went to Chicago with our Maltese and Jack Russell before he passed, but the city was filthy and we had to walk miles to go to a dog park. I made Gemma, our Maltese, walk, and poor baby after a block. Yeah, if they're not used to sidewalks, she's used to sidewalks. I would never make her run on a sidewalk, but yeah, she's used to pavement. Chrissy says, I hate Chicago. Yeah, but I think you're talking about the Bulls, Chicago, Chrissy. Papa one says, the precious white fur was dark black. Wow. Looked like she put on a black dress socks. She looked at us like, I'm a street puppy now. Papa one says, me too, Chrissy. It's nasty. And when we went, the homeless were always harassing everyone. Chrissy says, too cold and dirty. Yeah, when I got her, I was living in my parents had passed. My father had passed, so I was dealing with their house. And my mother had a beautiful garden in the backyard. She had just turned it into a giant garden, and she passed a year before my dad, and in that year my dad just let the backyard just return to nature and go back to, so it was just overgrown and a giant garden when I got Sadie, but it was all walled up and everything. And how big was it? It was, I'd say a quarter of an acre, maybe. It was pretty big. but anyways, I let her, I would let her like just go wild back there, because she was like super undisciplined. She was 6 months old. Just let her dig, 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 because we were going to like re-landscape the whole place anyways. So I'm really glad that she got that. She just got pretty much got that out of her system. I just let her dig all the way to China or Australia. She would like dig, pretty darn deep holes, like so that you couldn't see her head, like 2 or 3 feet down, and I just let her like chew on everything. And she was in that like toddler stage where she was eating anything she could get her hands on, and there were a lot of toxic or like just like not dog friendly plants in there, so we had to deal with digestive issues a lot. Papa once says, now we went to San Francisco about 15 years ago. It was wonderful. A lot of homeless, but they didn't bother you. You actually wanted to help them. But I hear San Francisco is horrid now. Yeah. David could probably talk about that. But yeah, it's all the tech companies have fled. I think downtown, I think sadly San Francisco is becoming like a West Coast Detroit. Papa once says, I remember my son and I went walking after dinner in San Fran. There was a homeless man with a small puppy. We sat and watched them cuddle up and get warm before the man reached into his bag. Chrissy says, went to San Francisco a few years ago. Parts were still beautiful, and there are those bad areas. But I have seen the same in Phoenix and New Orleans. And Papa once says, he pulled out a Subway sandwich and water. I was so shocked. He literally cut the sandwich in half and split the water with his dog. He told us I promised Buster that we would split everything, no matter what. We had tears in our eyes. Yeah, that's nice. And I certainly understand. I feel the same way. Yeah, I feel absolutely the same way. Even though I only eat one meal a day. But, yeah, that's the other thing. I always give her a little snack attack after the stream. I think it's interesting. In the beginning, she assumed I was talking to her. Now she knows I'm not talking to her, but I don't know if she understands. Perhaps she thinks I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Hup, hup. Cancer RC says, all right, Super Antonio, I'm off. I'm going to go get my Missouri Foxtrotter from Mr. Mason. Going to watch your video again just for good measure. Keep growing, Super Antonio, and love to you all. Appreciate you being here, Cancer RC, and shout out to India and your continent. Well done, friend. Papa one says, my son used to want to be a San Francisco or New Orleans homicide detective. He would have had job security, LOL, but I'm glad he decided to pursue the cigar industry instead. Yeah, job security for sure, but that's a hard life. And you got to, it's a thankless job. But you're serving the city. Chrissy says, have a good night, Cancer. I see. Stay up here. Hop, 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 hop. Stay. Sit. Wait. Papa one says, he also, for a short time there, wanted to be a Texas Ranger. Would have been a great job to get to wear Western wear and carry travel all over the Texas. Yeah, that'd be cool. I'm surprised they haven't remade Walker Texas Ranger. You'd think they'd do that. Chuck Norris is still alive. I think he's basically retired. Chuck. Yeah, born in 1940. But, I can't even remember the last movie or TV show he was in. He was in Hawaii Five-0 in 2020. But yeah, he's basically retired. Oh, Papa Wentz says they have remade Walker Texas Rangers. Oh, okay. There. See, they remake everything, Papa One. Papa Wentz says it's got that guy from Supernatural, I think. Jared Supernatural. Jared Padalecki. That show, Supernatural, went on for years. It's got at least 10 seasons. Yeah, from 2005 to 2020. That's 15 seasons. I checked out after like 2 seasons. I should, at some point, if it's streaming anywhere, I should watch that. Because I like all the elements, supernatural. I remember you had to fight ghosts with iron. Like you could get a poker from the fireplace and you could use it. Papa One says, did you ever watch Boardwalk Empire? Papa One, I have it on Blu-ray. I used to, I love HBO series. I used to, at least. HBO series always start strong, and then they just kind of get weak in the last couple seasons. They did it with Dexter. They did it with Boardwalk Empire. They did it with, what's that called? 6 Feet Under. True Blood, of course. I also have True Blood on Blu-ray. What's that about? And more recently with Westworld. Papa One says one of my top 3 shows of all time. Yeah, it's great. I love very intricate plot, and I do like shows that show the rise of a criminal empire. Like Breaking Bad. I also have Breaking Bad on Blu-ray. I went nuts during COVID. I collected a lot of things, action figures, vinyl, DVDs and Blu-rays. But I didn't realize it until like almost now, when I was just. It seems like everyone was like picking up new hobbies and collecting, and or doing things during the pandemic because couldn't go out. So I just got addicted to like online shopping. But also, my mother had been diagnosed, and I'm sure that was part of the just my reaction to that news is like, okay, well now I'm just going to be addicted to online shopping. Papa One says, I love the first season of True Detective, but season 2 and 3 aren't that good. Yeah, season 1 I watched and I loved, as I recall. But I checked out. And I don't even know what modern HBO shows are on now. The last one I watched and loved was Westworld, but I can only recommend like the first season and perhaps half of season 2 of Westworld. But the first season of Westworld is like perfect TV. An excellent remake. But it just, it goes all off the rails. But HBO shows always go off the rails. Same with True Blood. True Blood was great until, I would say season 4. Chrissy says, I have seen the same in Phoenix and New Orleans. No, we're back. Oh, sorry. I was reading the wrong chat. I read the chat off Streamlabs, which is in real time. But what you guys are seeing, I have the chat on YouTube, but that's like there's a latency there, and it's like 5 or 10. It's like 2 or 3 minutes late, or. Papa One says, Super Antonio, I hope you really know how much you contribute to people. Very few people can bring people together and make them be fans of the channel, much less friends. Me and Mama One have one son, and he has more to say. I appreciate your kind words, Papa One, and I'm glad you're here. You add a lot to the chat, and I think you're a good influence on the younger people here. At any rate, that's about all I have for you tonight, friends. I did want to be here a little longer just because I hadn't been too active. Shout out to the mods, David and Chrissy and Mama One and Papa One. Thanks for all your hard work. O-Dog, if you're still here. O-Dog, if you're listening. Papa One continues. But we wish we could have had another. I would want him to be a lot like you. Oh, that's so kind of you to say. I'm flattered and honored. That way I know my son would always have someone to look up to and would always have someone with wisdom. It's nice of you to say, Papa One. I don't feel that wise. I just kind of, I know I'm an excellent conversationalist. That's all I can say about that. But this chat and this community is, it has a lot to do with you people. I react to what you guys have to say. And together, that's what I love about live streams is together we build something from the interaction I get from you guys. Miko says, thanks for the stream. Thanks to the mods. Take care now. You too, Miko. Tomorrow night, we are going to talk about the Hateful Eight. We're going to do a movie night. And then on Sinister Sundays, we shall talk about the occultist and mountaineer, Aleister Crowley. Chrissy says, take care. You take care, Chrissy. Everyone, really appreciate you being here. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you tomorrow night. But if not,